Since its inception, Monterey has been an enigma. Part agrarian wonderland, part Mediterranean Riviera, the region of Monterey has been a proxy for the state of California as a whole. Located 100 miles south of Oakland and 250 miles north of Los Angeles, Monterey is located in a fertile region known as the Central Coast. The symbiotic relationship between the people in this environment go back millennia, but most written history of the area dates back to the 1700s. Large-scale cultivation and exploitation of the land and wildlife began during this era with the establishment of Mission Carmel Basilica in 1797. European conquerors originally claimed the land for Spain and sought to bring the riches of California back to Europe. In reality, this led to the virtual complete enslavement and eventual extermination of the native peoples, namely the Ohlone. The area stayed largely feudal through the era of Mexican California and on into American hands as a new group of Europeans sought to exploit the land for their purposes, this time in the form of precious metals found in the Sierra. Masses of Californians flooded into San Francisco in search of gold, with some of the more successful prospectors investing in land and agriculture in the Monterey Bay. This was the establishment of old money in California. It also opened the area up to tourism for the first time, with the upper crust of San Francisco investing in vacation homes in the sparsely populated but immensely beautiful area. Carmel was one of the first places the affluent came to invest in property. Formerly a sleepy small town, Carmel more or less is still that, albeit with an Apple store and a Louis Vuitton outlet. The Pebble Beach Golf Links was also established here in the early 1920s, further creating the infrastructure to support tourism catered to the privileged classes. Around the time rich artists and poets flocked to the region to find their muse, the industry of agriculture was creating a virtual caste system in the Salinas Valley. While rich bohemians lived in mansions on the coast, laborers from Mexico and Asia toiled in the fields, picking artichokes and strawberries all day, living in wretched conditions for slave wages. John Steinbeck captured the desperation of the laborers in some of his books. However, they were catered to white popular audiences. While tourism and industry have destroyed much of the natural wonders of Monterey, some of what is left has been reorganized and curated by well-intentioned people. The Natural History Museum in Pacific Grove is a taxidermist's dream, featuring busts of native species from all over the animal kingdom. The town of Pacific Grove is also home to the longest continually operating lighthouse on the Pacific coast, located at Port Pinos. Monterey is perhaps most famously known for its aquarium, which curates a collection of native and endangered species that dwell in aquatic habitats. Unlike the Natural History Museum, however, these species are still alive and live in intentionally designed tanks with appropriate plant life and other species that would typically be found in their habitats. Still, in 2019, we are learning how to mediate our exploitation of this land for industry and tourism with the newfound need to protect it for our children and the good of the earth. Some forward thinkers have devised ways to make this relationship symbiotic. For instance, all new beachside properties may not intersect wildlife areas, therefore allowing for the free travel of animals and other wildlife. Monterey has also imposed some of the strictest fishing and pollution restrictions in the entire country. While one can see the results of pollution restriction in Monterey Bay, there are a multitude of other factors working against the health and wealth of this region so heavily tied to the land. The hope for Monterey, and for the rest of the world, is that the development of technology will happen quick enough to save us from an ecological calamity. However, this remains to be seen.